Hi, my name is Danica Cooley, and I'm from Thinking Kids Press. We exist to help you teach the Bible and Christian history to your kids. So I'm also the author of Bible Road Trip, which is a 3-year Bible curriculum for preschool to high school. We'll take each of your kids at 5 different levels through the Bible in 3 years and help your kids learn and love the Bible from Bethany House, which will give you a plan for teaching the Bible to your kids from preschool to high school, and it is your crash course to understanding how to teach the Bible to your kids. So I want to talk to you today about reasons to homeschool high school. I just want to start out by saying that I don't think that homeschooling high school is a biblical mandate. I do think it's a biblical mandate to raise our children in the fear and admonition of the Lord. And I have lots of good friends that do send their kids to public high school. But I want to tell you why we decided to homeschool high school for our youngest 2 kids, why that has just been a blessing for us, and why I think you may want to consider these reasons as well. So, I went to what is ranked still one of the top 100 high schools in the nation. And it was when I was going there. It was always in the top 20. They had amazing amenities. They had great academics. And I took advantage of all of those. I played sports. I was always in the library. I took honors classes. And still, public high school was one of the toughest places I think I've ever been. Even going to one of the top 20 schools in the nation, it was really hard for me. So we sent our oldest 2 kids to public high school, and we got them at 8 and 10. So they'd already been in public school their whole lives, and it was a logical progression for us. But it wasn't something we wanted to do again. It was not an experience we wanted to repeat. I guess I'll say it that way. So what we did was send our younger 2 kids to like preschool, kindergarten, and one of them to 1st grade in a Christian school. And that there were pros and cons to that as well. But when they were in 1st and 2nd grade, we started homeschooling them. So I am on year 12 of homeschooling. Our youngest is graduating in the spring, and so I can tell you why we homeschooled and how that worked out for us. I was concerned that I wasn't equipped. People ask me a lot of questions. Aren't your kids going to miss out on sports? Won't they miss out on the prom? We got a lot of feedback from people about why they didn't think we should homeschool high school with our kids. And as a parent who hadn't homeschooled high school and had gone to public school myself, those were some concerning things, and I worried about them. I want to tell you that both of my kids had no problem getting into college. No problem with scholarships, although there are some that are closed to kids that homeschool. Most of them are open to homeschool kids. So we had no problem with any of that. Okay, so here are the reasons that we decided to homeschool high school. And I always think it's good to know what your motivations are, right? It helps us keep track of what we're doing, because sometimes things do seem hard, or we have to equip ourselves to do things. So it's good to know why you're doing something. So I'll give you our motivations and tell you why I think those may apply for you as well. So as a Christian, our number one reason for homeschooling high school was that it gave us a unique opportunity to intentionally disciple our kids for Christ. And I really think, looking back 5 years later, that has been for us the most rewarding thing about homeschooling high school, is that we have gotten to disciple our children for Christ. So, when our kids went to public school, the older 2, Kids will leave at like 6:30 in the morning. And if they're in activities or sports, sometimes they won't get home till 6 at night. They have homework, and they have stuff to do. And you don't have a lot of time as a family to really unwind, visit with them, disciple, and you're trying to undo a lot of what they've learned during the day. So when we homeschooled, we were able to take, that first hour of homeschooling each day, like the best hour of the day where everybody's really awake and doing well. We would go through Bible road trip. So it took our kids through the Bible, and we would pray intentionally together. Our kids would pray for their friends, for family members. We would pray for them. It was a great way to really be able to intentionally disciple our kids. Like, we were in scripture. So on top of that, we were able to pick curriculum that glorified God, that came from a biblical worldview. At lunch, we could sit down and eat together and talk about current events from a biblical worldview, talk about the sermon we had heard on Sunday. We really talk about what was going on in the world and how it applied to the Bible. So for us, that really was another way to intentionally disciple our kids. And it was great because I knew what was going on with our kids. And there are lots of pressing things from the world, but at least our kids, we weren't trying to undo 8 hours of instruction that was anti-biblical. We were actually biblically discipling them. So that was our number one reason for homeschooling high school. And I think it's a compelling enough reason to do it all together. So let me just tell you about our other two reasons. Our second reason was that as our kids were homeschooled for high school, they had the time and the opportunity to really explore their passions and figure out how God had gifted them, what they cared about. And I think that that's a great thing that your kids will be able to do too. So our children, we did literature-based homeschooling and notebooking. So they really knew how to self-teach. And one of them grabbed a hold of an app. It was a YouVersion, and taught himself how to play the guitar. And then he progressed on and went with books and online resources and learned how to play the electric guitar, classical, and acoustic guitar. And went on to, I think he's like 3.5 years now. He's been playing lead guitar for both of the churches that we've been at. He's played professionally for memorial services. He's just, he is really good at it. And he's also self-taught himself art. And his art is really talented. And it's fun because he wants to be an engineer. So I love that. He's very musical and artistic, and he wants to go into the sciences. So anyway, that's given him stuff to do on the side that he has just really loved, and he's had the time and ability to develop that. Both of our kids have become runners, and our youngest, it looks like he's going to go state in a couple weeks for cross country, if everything goes well. And our oldest really took running to a whole nother level. He runs for his college now. He runs 70 miles a week. He got into researching nutrition and running, and during COVID, when everything was shut down, he just grabbed a bunch of kids and took them running every day and built a team, and then just really had them ready to go when the sports opened back up. So, everybody was concerned when we decided to homeschool high school about whether our kids would be able to be involved with sports. And I want to say there's a lot of great recreational teams, but we, at the beginning of their homeschool, their high school careers, we moved to a small fishing town. So our kids actually compete with the local high school. We feel really comfortable with that. And they've gotten to go to prom a number of times and dances. They're friends with the kids in the town, and I think it's wonderful. I don't know if we had been living right outside of Portland before in a very large city next to Portland, I'm not sure that I would have felt comfortable with them being on the sports team for the big 6A high schools out there. But we are really comfortable here, and we really like the coaches, and it's been a really good experience for my kids. And they are in that environment for a couple hours a day, mostly running and then competing. And they've made good friends that they've been able to share their lives with. So I really think that's been a great thing for them. Okay, so they've had the time and opportunity to really self-teach, to explore, and to find passions that are important to them. Neither one of them has developed those passions into a career path. The other one wants to be an accountant. So not a career path, but something that they will love doing for the rest of their lives, which is wonderful. Okay, so the third thing is the academics are better. And I say that knowing that it doesn't sound very humble. And I don't mean it that way. I think that that public school teachers do their best. I think the curriculum they put together is the best they can do. And oftentimes they're teaching 30 kids at a time. I think one of the advantages of homeschooling is that you're only teaching one child, or at the most 10, 12. I know people sometimes do have 12 kids, but they're usually not all doing high school at the same time. So for centuries, the aristocratic families have had tutors, right? And that is because having someone come in and teach your kid one-on-one is a really good way for them to learn. And so I had 2 kids in high school at the same time, and I was really able to tailor what we were doing to their skills, their talents, their abilities, and their interests, and the things that I wanted them to learn. Like I put together a leadership class for them where I just basically chose doctrinal and theological books and leadership books that I felt would enrich their ability to go out and not even just necessarily lead, but participate in society in a way where they were setting their course. And so, and I did the same thing for personal finance. I included investment books, and they really learned a lot of stuff that I wish I had learned in high school. And then I had them write an essay about each book. So it was easy. It was a half a credit for each class. I think they read like 6 or 7 books for each class, which is more than they might read in a college course. So, you know, I was able to do that. We were able to use some really rigorous Christian, biblically based curriculum. My kids were well prepared. So they were also able to take that rigorous Christian-based curriculum that they used and then study and earn credits by taking a test through the College Board. And each of them, well, one came out with over 30 credits for college, and the other one is slated for that. He's going to come out with more than 30 credits for college, which is an entire year of college, which is great because they both picked 5-year academic tracks. So it meant that they only have to go to college for 4 years. And that is a huge scholarship. Like, I think we paid $130 with the proctoring fees for each test. And most of those tests were 3 to 6 college credits. And if you factor in an entire year of college that we didn't have to pay for, it came out to like, I don't know, $500-600 for a $45,000 college year. So really helpful for my kids, and kind of validated that the coursework they were doing was really college level. So they did study before they took the test, but they were doing rigorous coursework. So the academics, you're able to tailor it to your kids. You're able to make sure that they're not getting lost, and that they're actually doing what they need to be doing. And you're able to make sure that it kind of heads the direction that they want to go. So I thought that that was really helpful with both my kids. And I think it's helpful for any family that wants to homeschool high school. Okay. They also had time to study for the SATs and apply to scholarships. So some of the essays that they did every week were for scholarships. And I read and put those together like a spreadsheet of what scholarships I thought they should enter. And then I let them pick each week one to write an essay for, and helped them edit it. And then they would go in and then edit it the way they wanted it to. And then they would submit that. And that was really helpful actually for them. They're amazing writers. So I wanted to show you a few resources because I think the biggest thing for us is feeling equipped to homeschool high school. So those 3 reasons that it gave that are excellent reasons to homeschool high school are compelling, but they're not compelling enough if you don't feel like you can do it, right? So Lee Vins of the Home Scholar has these books, and one was Setting the Record Straight, and I used this to prepare a transcript and course descriptions for both my kids. I always suggest that you start your transcript and your course descriptions as soon as you've planned your first semester for high school, because you don't want to go back and be like forensically trying to figure out what you did. And then college admissions and scholarships. This was super helpful, great information. Like I said, my kids both earned multiple scholarships. They would write essays every week. It was just part of their curriculum that I assigned. So really helpful. And then that was a little self-promotional. Help Your Kids Learn and Love the Bible from Bethany House by me. This book will really help you develop a plan for teaching your kids the Bible all the way through their homeschool years. And again, like I said, for us, the number one reason to homeschool high school was so that we could intentionally disciple our kids. Okay, well, those are the reasons we homeschooled high school. I think that they're compelling reasons. Again, we've had great results. Our kids are fully set up to go out into the world and conquer it. They've had great high school experiences. They have great friends. Some homeschooled, some not. They've played on sports teams. They have not missed anything except the instruction that I did not want them to have. So for us, it's been a great thing. And there are wonderful resources out there that can help you do what you need to do. So I just want to encourage you. You can homeschool high school, and there are very good reasons to do so.